Hi guys, I hope you are all having a wonderful time on planet Earth. I hope everything is working out for the best, and welcome. I want to get straight into it. I've been thinking about self-honesty lately. It's been very relevant to me, and I want to talk about how I've developed. Sorry, I've been singing and screaming a lot lately. Actually, I'm going to get some water. Okay, that's better. Self-honesty. Oh boy, this is a multi-layered topic. I've noticed there's two areas in life where you can develop self-honesty. It's when we're isolated and having fictional conversations with ourselves, and when we are with other people. And the two work really well together. If you are good at lying to yourself when you're alone, chances are you'll probably not set boundaries and not really speak from your heart when you're around other people. And when you don't speak from your heart when you're around other people, it can be a little bit easier to lie to yourself when you get home. The good thing is that if you just reverse this momentum, then they start working on each other and start driving you towards the version of yourself that you actually want to be. Now, this can all seem very complicated, right? I'm saying a lot of words, but I want to send you one message before we get into it, and that is that these things are usually more simple when they're in the right direction. The more complicated, confusing, uncomfortable, and hard they may seem, the more these things are usually going in the wrong direction. But self-honesty is as simple as tuning into your heart, feeling the emotion, and then releasing it through your mind. You see, energy should come out, right? It comes up and out. So if you know how to be aware in your body, you should practice feeling your heart, letting it come up to your throat and out through your mind, and you'll notice like a tingling sensation. At least I do when I'm honest, and people also tell me they get shivers when I speak from a high place or a deep place of truth. Whereas if we overthink, first of all, you can feel that there's way too much energy going on here, and then it goes down. It presses down on the throat and it presses down on the heart, and from there you sort of start putting layers on what you want it to say. It can be one layer, it can be 10 layers, and it doesn't really matter. And to the outside world, this is just confusing to be around. I know many of you want to talk about how you deal with other people around you, and that is also really relevant, because if two people are out of alignment and untrue to each other, we're just going nowhere. They'll just be talking past each other. They'll just be talking to each other, honestly, talking to their own heads, not really going anywhere, not really moving any energy. I know there's a lot of empaths out there, so I want to start with you guys. If you really care about what other people think of you, that's a gift. That means that you can pass on your truth in a way that doesn't hurt them as much. And for you, I would recommend that you tune into your love for the other person while still speaking from the heart, which means that it's probably not going to be what they want to hear, but that's how you can practice stepping into your masculine energy, becoming just more of who you want to be, which is what this is about, right? Being honest with yourself, being who you really are. Another thing, you don't have to know everything about yourself. Even just speaking out loudly about, I don't actually know, when asked a certain question, or exploring yourself, even just saying I don't know, sort of takes you away from the state of having to control things, holding them down, and just speaking your truth. And this leads me into being vulnerable. Okay. By the way, for anyone who isn't an empath, Just keep doing what you're doing. Your world is your most important state, but be sure you also listen to the outside world. Anyways, being vulnerable. This is quite the topic. Who should you be vulnerable to? Shouldn't you be protecting your energy? Stuff like this. I've come to realize that there are no enemies in this world, and that we all always attract the kind of relationships that help us develop our skill sets for who we want to be. So it may seem like someone wants to hurt you, or that they're saying things or giving off a vibe that's intimidating to you. That is an invitation to being vulnerable and speaking from the heart. Probably more like a child's heart, the child inside of you that also really wants your attention. How do we become vulnerable? You already know how. This isn't something you need a tutorial for. It's something many of us look for permission for, which is understandable if we are fearful and scared. But the power lies within you, and people have a way of shifting and treating you differently when you start treating yourself differently. So when you start speaking from this truthful place, this vulnerable place, even if it appears ugly to the mind, even if it seems illogical to the mind, people have a way of being a little bit lighter on their toes when you start doing that. They start accepting you a little bit more for who you are, because you have accepted yourself a little bit more for who you are, and finally allowed yourself to let that small, still, yet truthful voice speak for itself. And these two just work so well together. Being vulnerable when it feels right, and being honest, no matter what. Now this has been very focused on the self, because everything starts from the self. So how can you cultivate this? How can you learn to discern between when you're projecting and imagining things in other people and when you're actually grounded in yourself? Well, there's so many ways you can do it, and you've probably heard these words before. Grounded, meditation, mindfulness, yada yada. These are all things that are relevant. So be sure you find the time to be present with yourself without a phone, a person, an activity, a thing to do, just sitting without reason with yourself, first of all. But I will give you this idea for when you start socializing and when you're with other people. Excuse me. Focus on the energy in your body. Your heart knows better than your mind, because your heart doesn't understand time. That's something your mind created to organize and understand. Feel your body and allow yourself to speak from a feeling. You can cultivate your presence, your bodily awareness 24/7. When you go for a walk, go training, or any other activity that may seem rather normal to you, notice how much of the time the energy is up here. And see how often you can get back to grounding yourself with the breath, feeling the heartbeat, feeling the blood flow around. That'll put you back into that state of being in tune with how you feel. It's that simple. So, yeah. I welcome every one of you to be more honest and vulnerable with everyone around you. Not just the ones you feel safe around, but those who intimidate you as well. And if you try this, notice the momentum that comes with it. a sense of energy returning to the source within you, and how you dare doing and saying and speaking and experiencing a little bit more, pushing yourself a little bit harder, because it came from a place of love. Notice the momentum if you are inspired by this exercise, and then let me know. Comment down below if this has actually worked for you, because a lot of us also like seeing the proof in other people, right? And it is inspiring when someone comments about how something has worked for them. And if you have any questions, shoot. I also have a link if you are interested in working with me. I'm still developing programs. I've already made one, but I work in a very personalized manner. So I always meet people where they are. But regardless, guys, be truthful with yourself. Be honest and vulnerable, and trust the process. Trust who you are, and enjoy the ride. Remember, we're here to have fun. We're here to experience heaven on earth. So, enjoy, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.